The colony slept under a false sky. Bright banners of the Empire glowed on towers. Patrol ships circled above, and guards walked the streets as if nothing could ever break their power. To most citizens it looked like peace. To Elias it looked like blindness. He had seen the fleet. He had felt their shadows move across his ship, silent and unstoppable. Now every moment that passed felt borrowed. He couldn't shake the thought, they are coming and no one knows. But someone had to know. Someone had to hear. That night Elias crept into the shipyard again, moving quickly between dark corners. His hands shook, but his mind was steady. He had stolen a small transmitter from the scout vessel, a device strong enough to send a message across colonies before the Empire could silence it. In the hangar, he climbed into an old cargo shuttle. It was outdated, its engines groaning with age, but its comms still worked. Elias sealed the hatch and connected the transmitter to the console. Lights flickered, screens came alive, and a hum filled the cabin. His heart raced. Once he sent the message, there would be no going back. He thought of Sira, silent behind bars, clutching the truth with broken chains. She had lost her voice, but she had given him hers. Elias closed his eyes. Then he began to speak. This is Elias, mechanic of the outer shipyards. To every human colony, to every worker, to anyone who will listen, I bring you a warning. The Empire lies. The woman they silenced spoke the truth. I have seen what she saw. A fleet moves through the dark, larger than any we have faced. They are coming for us all. If we stay silent, we will be destroyed. His voice shook, but he forced it steady. They cut her tongue to bury the truth. But I will not let it stay buried. Listen to me. Look to the border stars. You will see them. Prepare, because the Empire will not. He hit the transmit key. The message burst out across the networks, carried on hidden channels bouncing between satellites. It was out there now, unstoppable. Alarms blared almost instantly. Red lights flashed in the hangar, and a harsh voice rang through speakers. Unauthorized broadcast detected. Seize the human! Elias cursed and grabbed his bag. He ran from the shuttle as guards stormed the hangar. Shouts filled the air. Boots thundered against the floor. He sprinted through the maze of pipes and crates, his lungs burning. He knew he couldn't escape the colony. They would find him. But maybe, just maybe, the message had already spread far enough. At the edge of the prison wing, he skidded to a stop. He couldn't leave her. Not after everything. He rushed to Sira's cell, slamming his hands against the bars. She looked up, her eyes wide. I did it, Elias whispered, breathless. I sent it. They'll hear you now. They'll know. Her eyes filled with tears, and she pressed her chained hands against the bars. For a moment, they simply stared at each other. Her silence and his trembling voice bound together in a single truth. Shouts echoed closer. The guards were coming. Sira shook her head sharply, urging him to run. But Elias didn't move. They cut your tongue, he whispered, but they didn't cut your truth. It's out there now. Even if they kill me, they can't stop it. The cell shook as boots pounded down the corridor. Torches flared. Derek emerged from the shadows, his 4 eyes burning with rage. Traitor, Derek hissed. You think your words matter? The Empire will erase them just as we erased her. Elias straightened, his voice steady. You can erase logs. You can cut tongues. But you can't erase the stars. They're coming, whether you admit it or not. Derek sneered and raised his weapon. The guards moved in. Sira slammed her fists against the bars, her eyes blazing. Her silent scream filled the corridor, louder in Elias's mind than any sound could have been. The guards seized him, dragging him away. But Elias did not fight. He looked back at her one last time. Her eyes met his, and in them he saw not despair, but fire. Outside the prison, alarms still blared. Across the colonies, workers stirred as strange messages spread through the networks. Whispers grew into shouts, shouts into cries. The Empire's silence cracked as fear spread among its people. Some would dismiss the warning. Some would believe. But the truth had been spoken. And somewhere beyond the border stars, the shadow fleet moved closer, silent and patient. In her cell, Sira closed her eyes. For the first time since they cut her tongue, she felt heard. Her truth had found a voice. He shifted the alien woman's weight onto his shoulder, tightened his grip on the glowing device, and whispered to himself, Okay. Let's run. Then he bolted into the maze of the city, the hunters following close behind. And in that moment, Ethan's ordinary life ended, and something far greater began. Ethan's legs burned as he ran through the narrow streets, the old alien woman's weight heavy on his shoulder. Behind him, the hunters moved like shadows, silent, fast, and relentless. The glowing device in his hand pulsed stronger with every step, as if guiding him somewhere. He turned down an alley, nearly slipping on the damp pavement. His heart pounded in his ears. He had never run this hard in his life. The alien woman's faint breath warmed his arm, reminding him why he couldn't stop. At the far end of the alley, the device pulsed brighter, and a symbol appeared on the wall, a faint circle of blue light only Ethan could see. Without thinking, he touched the symbol with the device. The wall shimmered and opened like a curtain of liquid. Ethan stumbled inside, the wall sealing shut behind him. The noise of the hunters vanished, replaced by a low hum. He looked around, gasping for breath. They were inside a hidden chamber. The walls glowed faintly, carved with strange symbols that looked older than time itself. The air was cool and heavy, filled with a quiet energy. Ethan carefully lowered the alien woman to the ground. She groaned softly but stayed unconscious. He placed the glowing device in front of her. At once the symbols on the walls lit up, responding to its presence. Ethan's eyes widened as the chamber came alive. A massive projection rose from the device, this time larger, brighter, and clearer than before. It filled the whole room with stars, planets, and glowing paths. Ethan stood in the middle of it, feeling like he had stepped into the heart of the galaxy itself. He turned slowly, staring at the endless stars. Some blinked red, others glowed green, and a few pulsed like warning signals. At the center of the map was a single golden star that pulsed steadily, almost like a heartbeat. The alien woman stirred again. Her golden eyes opened, weak but focused on the projection. "It begins," she whispered. Ethan knelt beside her. "What is this? What are they?" He pointed at the stars. She coughed, her voice rough. "A map, not of places, but of choices." Ethan frowned. "Choices?" She nodded faintly. "Each path leads to survival or destruction. Hunters, they seek this map, not for saving, but for conquest." Her hand shook as she touched the glowing star at the center. "This is the core, the key to all life. Protected for ages now, only you can unlock it." Ethan felt a chill crawl down his spine. Him, a simple 16-year-old, it sounded impossible. Yet the device glowed stronger in his hand, like it agreed with her. "But why me?" Ethan asked, his voice breaking. "I'm just normal," her eyes softened. "Not normal. You stopped. You cared. That is rare. That is why it chose you." Ethan swallowed hard. His mind spun. The hunters outside, the glowing shield, this star map, it was all too much. He wanted to run, to hide, to pretend none of this was real. But deep inside he knew there was no going back. The projection shifted suddenly. Images appeared between the stars. Vast warships, burning cities, and strange creatures locked in battle. Ethan's stomach twisted at the sight. The alien woman's voice trembled. "The hunters serve a dark empire. They erase worlds, steal life, leave only ash. This will be Earth's fate if they take the map." Ethan's breath caught. He thought of his parents at home, his little sister waiting for dinner, his school, his friends. The thought of everything he knew burning like the images in the projection filled him with dread. The alien woman gripped his hand with surprising strength. "You can stop them, but you must trust the device. It will guide you." Ethan looked at the glowing object. It pulsed in rhythm with his heartbeat, as if alive. Could he really trust something he didn't understand? Before he could answer, the chamber shook. Dust rained from the ceiling. The hunters had found them. The alien woman's eyes widened. "Too soon," she whispered. "They should not have tracked us here." A sharp crack split the wall. Red light burned through the cracks. Ethan panicked. "What do we do?" She pressed the device back into his hands. "The hidden message. Unlock it." "How?" Ethan shouted. "Listen," she said simply. "Do not think, just listen." The wall exploded inward and the hunters stormed in. Their weapons glowed with deadly red light. Ethan's chest tightened. He stared at the device, then closed his eyes. He let the hum sink into him, let the strange rhythm guide his fingers. Without knowing why, he touched a sequence of glowing symbols on its surface. The chamber blazed with light. The hunters froze, shielding their eyes. The projection of the star map shifted into something new, a message, written in simple glowing symbols. Ethan gasped as the device translated it into human words inside his head. "To the Keeper, The balance of the stars is broken. Guard the core. Only the heart that listens can restore what is lost. The words echoed in his mind, heavy and final. The hunters roared and charged forward. The alien woman, with the last of her strength, pushed Ethan toward the far wall. Another circle of light appeared there, glowing bright. "Go," she cried. "Keep it safe." Ethan hesitated, but the hunters were already raising their weapons. With no choice, he grabbed the device, pulled the alien woman to her feet, and ran through the glowing circle. The wall closed behind them, and the chamber was swallowed in silence. Ethan didn't know where the circle had taken them, but one thing was clear: he was now the keeper. And the message he carried was bigger than anything he had ever imagined. The world blurred around Ethan as the glowing circle spat him and the alien woman into a new place. They stumbled onto a dim street lit by neon signs and dripping rain. The wall behind them sealed shut with a flash of blue light. Ethan's chest heaved. His arms ached from carrying her, but he refused to let go. The alien woman was barely conscious now, whispering in a language he didn't understand. The device in his hand pulsed faster, warning him. A cold shiver ran through him. The hunters would not stop, and he was right. Across the rooftops, dark shapes moved. Their red eyes glowed faintly, tracking him through the night. They were already here. Ethan's pulse thundered in his ears. He had no plan, no weapon, only the strange shield that had saved him once. But could it save him again? "Move," he whispered to himself. "Just keep moving." He hurried down the wet street, splashing through puddles. The neon glow painted the rain in shades of pink and green, but Ethan barely noticed. Every sound made him twitch. Every shadow felt like it was reaching for him. Then it came. A sharp crack echoed above. A blast of red energy slammed into the ground near his feet, burning a hole in the concrete. Ethan yelped and stumbled back, gripping the device tightly. The hunters dropped from the rooftops like living blades. 3 of them landed in front of him, their weapons glowing. Another 2 appeared behind him, blocking his escape. Ethan's breath caught. He was trapped. The alien woman stirred weakly in his arms. Her golden eyes fluttered open. "Shield," she whispered. Ethan nodded quickly, his hands shaking. He raised the device, and the blue shield shimmered to life around him. The first hunter struck, swinging his weapon. Sparks flew as the blade met the shield. Ethan staggered back but held firm. Another blast of energy slammed against the shield. Rattling his bones, they were testing him, pushing him, waiting for him to break. Think, Ethan muttered, his eyes darting around. The hunters circled, their glowing red eyes fixed on the device. One of them pointed, a harsh metallic voice growling, "Give it." Ethan's chest tightened. He couldn't. Not after what he had seen in the chamber. Not after the message. He shook his head. No. The hunters roared and attacked together. Energy bolts slammed into the shield from all sides. The blue light flickered under the pressure. Ethan gritted his teeth, sweat dripping down his face. He could feel the strain, like the device was feeding off his own strength. "I can't." "Hold it," he gasped. The alien woman pressed her hand weakly against the shield. Her touch steadied it, the blue light burning brighter. "Trust," she whispered. Her word gave him courage. Ethan spotted a gap between 2 hunters, a narrow space just wide enough to slip through. He waited until the next blast struck, then dropped low and sprinted forward. The hunters snarled, slashing at him, but the shield flared and deflected their blades. Ethan pushed through, his legs pumping hard, his grip tight on the device. "Run!" he shouted, though the alien woman could barely hear him. They burst onto a wider street filled with humans. Food stalls steamed, neon boards flashed, and people chatted loudly. None of them noticed the hunters, cloaked in shadow. To everyone else, Ethan just looked like a crazy boy running with a sick stranger in his arms. But Ethan knew the truth. Death was right behind him. The hunters followed, their movements invisible to human eyes but clear as day to Ethan. Every step they took sent fear crawling up his spine. A blast shot past his head, smashing into a streetlight. The humans gasped at the sudden explosion but didn't see who caused it. Panic rippled through the crowd as people scattered. Ethan dodged between stalls, leaping over crates, his shoes slipping on wet pavement. His lungs burned, but he kept running. The device guided him, pulsing brighter whenever he turned the right way. Another blast struck near his feet, sending him sprawling. He hit the ground hard, the alien woman tumbling from his arms. She cried out softly. "No!" Ethan scrambled up, pulling her close again. His knees ached, but he didn't stop. One hunter dropped in front of him, blocking the path. Its weapon buzzed with deadly energy. Ethan froze, fear flooding him. The hunter raised its blade. The device pulsed violently and the star map flickered above it for an instant. One symbol glowed brighter than the rest. Without thinking, Ethan pressed it. A surge of energy exploded from the device. The hunter was thrown backwards, slamming into a wall with a metallic crash. Sparks flew as its armor cracked. Ethan stared in shock. It worked? The alien woman gave a faint smile. It listens. But the victory was brief. The other hunters roared in anger, their weapons charging with deadly red light. Ethan's heart pounded. He had bought a few seconds, but that was all. The device pulsed again, guiding him toward a narrow subway entrance nearby. Ethan didn't hesitate. He lifted the alien woman and dashed down the stairs, the hunters crashing after him. The subway tunnels stretched into darkness. The hum of electricity echoed faintly. Ethan's footsteps splashed against shallow puddles as he ran deeper and deeper, the hunters close behind. The chase was far from over, but Ethan knew one thing now. He was not running without purpose. The device was guiding him step by step toward something bigger, toward the next secret, and the hunters would not stop until either he or they were destroyed. The subway tunnels were endless, dark, and echoing with every step. Ethan's breath came in sharp gasps as he carried the alien woman deeper into the shadows. Behind him, faint metallic thuds echoed. The hunters were still following, their patience as steady as machines. The device in his hand pulsed softly, casting a blue glow that lit their way. It seemed to know where to lead him. At the end of one long tunnel, Ethan saw a heavy steel door. The device flashed brighter, and the door hissed open on its own. Ethan stumbled inside, kicking the door shut. It sealed with a heavy clang, and for the first time in hours, silence fell. He set the alien woman gently against the wall. Her breathing was shallow, her golden eyes half closed. Ethan's chest tightened. She looked so fragile now, like she could vanish at any moment. "You need help," Ethan whispered. "Real help. A hospital, something." She gave a faint laugh, though it sounded more like a cough. "No, not human medicine. My time is short," Ethan froze. "Don't say that. You can't just die, not now. Not after everything." Her eyes met his. "That is why you must listen. Before it is too late." Ethan swallowed hard, his heart pounding. He sat down across from her, holding the glowing device between them. "Tell me everything," he said. "Please, I need to know what this is. Who you are. Why those things are after you." The chamber lit faintly as the device pulsed. It was as if the walls themselves wanted to hear her story. The alien woman closed her eyes for a moment, gathering what little strength she had left. Then she began. "I am Soraya," she said softly. "Once, I was a guardian of the core, a protector of the balance between worlds." "Guardian?" Ethan repeated. She nodded weakly. "Long ago, before your Earth had even begun to dream of the stars, my people guarded the core, the heart of creation. It is not a machine, not a weapon, but a seed of life itself. It keeps the stars alive, the galaxies turning, the balance whole. Without it, everything falls." Ethan stared at her, his throat dry. It sounded impossible, like something out of one of his science fiction books. But the way she said it, the weight in her voice made him believe. "And the hunters?" he asked. Soraya's eyes darkened. "They serve the Shadow Empire, a force that grows by taking, by burning, by consuming. They believe if they control the core, they will control all life. They will turn it into a weapon." Ethan's stomach twisted. He thought of the star map he had seen. Burning cities, warships blotting out the sky. "And you were stopping them?" She gave a weak smile. "Once, yes. I was one of many guardians. But the others are gone, hunted, destroyed. I am the last." Her voice cracked on the last word, and Ethan felt a sharp pang in his chest. The last. Alone. Just like she had been on that crowded street when no one else had stopped. "And now you," she whispered. "Carry the device." "The keeper's key." Ethan looked down at it. The glow reflected in his wide eyes. "Keeper's key?" "It chooses only one," Soraya said. "One who can hear, not with ears, but with the heart. One who will protect not for power, but for others. It has chosen you." Ethan shook his head. "No, that's crazy. I'm just a kid. I don't even know how to fight." "I can't save galaxies." Soraya's golden eyes softened. "That is why you can. Because you do not seek it. Because when everyone else looked away, you listened. That is the strength the core needs. Ethan's chest tightened. He thought of how everyone had ignored her in the city, how they had walked past without caring. He had only stopped because he couldn't bear to see someone suffering, and now here he was being told the fate of worlds rested on him. He wanted to deny it, to push it all away, but deep inside a small part of him believed her. The device pulsed stronger, as if agreeing. Soraya's voice grew weaker. The hunters will not stop. They can smell the key. They will chase you across stars if they must. But the core, it must not fall to them. Ethan clenched his fists. What am I supposed to do? Her hand trembled as she pointed at the map projected by the device. The golden star at the center pulsed brighter than ever. You must reach this place, she said. The core's chamber. There you will find the truth, and the power to decide the future. Ethan followed her gaze, his mind racing. It was far, far away, across stars, across unknown worlds. He couldn't even imagine how to get there. Soraya leaned closer, her breath shallow. I will not survive the journey, but you must go on. You are keeper now. Ethan's throat ached. No, don't say that. We'll find a way. You can't leave me alone in this. Her lips curved into a faint, tired smile. Not alone. The core will guide you. A heavy thud echoed against the steel door. Ethan's head snapped up. The hunters had found them again. Soraya's eyes closed, but her voice was steady one last time. Remember, you are not chosen for what you can do. You are chosen for what you are. The door cracked under the force of another blow. Red light leaked through the edges. Ethan clutched the device tightly, fear and determination clashing inside him. The hunters were coming. Soraya was fading, and the core, the fate of everything, rested in his hands. The steel door shuddered under another blow. Each strike rattled the chamber like thunder. Red light burned through the cracks as the hunters forced their way inside. Ethan's hands shook as he held the glowing device close to his chest. The hum was louder now, echoing in his bones. He glanced at Soraya. She was slumped against the wall, her golden eyes dim, her breathing shallow. We can't fight them, Ethan whispered. His voice cracked with fear. There are too many. We'll both be killed. Soraya's lips curved into a faint smile. Not both, Ethan froze. What do you mean? Her hand trembled as she reached for the device. The key. It holds more than maps. It can hold life. A guardian's life. Ethan's heart lurched. He shook his head violently. No, don't say that. You're not giving up. Not now. The door groaned under another impact. Sparks rained from the hinges. The hunters were almost inside. Soraya's eyes softened as she studied him. Keeper, listen to me. My body is failing. Even if we escaped, I could not travel far, but you are young, strong. You carry the heart the core needs. Tears stung Ethan's eyes. He had known her for only a short time, but it felt like so much longer. The thought of losing her tore at him. There has to be another way, he whispered desperately. You said the core guides. Then it can guide you too. We'll find help, I promise. Her hand touched his cheek, cold but gentle. Ethan, you already know. My time is ending, but my purpose, my duty, it can live on through you. The device pulsed brighter, as if agreeing with her words. Ethan gripped it tighter, his knuckles white. The door split open with a violent crash. A jagged hole appeared, and through it Ethan saw the glowing red eyes of the hunters. Their weapons buzzed with deadly energy. Soraya drew a deep, shaking breath. Her voice was soft but filled with strength. Now you must choose. Run with fear, or rise with courage. Ethan's heart hammered. His whole body screamed to run, to hide, to give up. But Soraya's words dug deep inside him. He remembered the message from the device. Only the heart that listens can restore what is lost. He closed his eyes. He listened. The hum of the device steadied. The fear in his chest did not vanish, but it shifted, burning into something else. Determination. When Ethan opened his eyes, they were wet with tears, but his voice was firm. What do I have to do? Soraya's tired smile widened. Hold the key. Her hands pressed against the device. Her golden eyes glowed brighter for the first time since he met her. Energy surged from her body into the key, flowing like streams of light. Ethan gasped as the glow wrapped around him, warm and fierce. The chamber filled with blue radiance, shadows fleeing to the corners. Soraya's voice was a whisper, yet it echoed like thunder. My life, my strength, my duty, I give to you, Keeper. The hunters roared, slamming the door wider, forcing their way in. But the light was too strong. Ethan felt her energy rushing into him. Memories, emotions, fragments of ancient battles, songs of stars long forgotten. It was overwhelming, like standing in the middle of a storm. "No," he cried, gripping her hand. "Don't leave me." Soraya's smile was peaceful now. Not leaving, living, in you. Her golden eyes dimmed, then closed. Her body slumped, the last of her strength gone. The device flared with one final burst of light, then settled, glowing steady and strong in Ethan's hands. He felt her presence inside, not fully alive, but not gone either. A spark of her essence remained, guiding him. Ethan's throat burned as he looked down at her still body. For a moment, grief crushed him, heavier than anything he had ever carried. But then the hunters stepped through the shattered doorway, their red eyes blazing, and Ethan stood. The device pulsed in rhythm with his heartbeat, the blue shield snapping to life around him. This time it was stronger, thicker, pulsing with Soraya's gift. The hunters charged. Ethan raised the shield. Their weapons slammed into it, sparks flying. But he did not stumble. The energy coursing through him was steady, unbreakable. He pushed back, and for the first time the hunters staggered. Ethan's eyes burned with fury and grief. "You won't take it," he said, his voice low but sharp. "You won't take what she died to protect." The hunters regrouped, circling him. But Ethan no longer felt like a scared boy. He felt like something more. Something Soraya had believed he could be. Keeper. He tightened his grip on the device. The star map flickered above it again, pointing the way forward. The core's chamber, his path, his destiny. Another blast struck the shield, but Ethan held firm. With Soraya's sacrifice burning inside him, he knew he could no longer run. He had to fight. He had made his choice. The subway chamber was filled with smoke and broken stone. The hunters circled, their weapons glowing red, their movements sharp and merciless. But Ethan stood tall, the device pulsing in his grip. Blue light shimmered around him like living armor. His chest heaved, his arms ached, but he did not run. Not anymore. The hunters charged. Energy blades slammed into the shield, sparks flying, the sound echoing like thunder in the tunnels. Ethan staggered but did not fall. Each strike sent a shock through his bones, yet the device pulsed with strength, Soraya's strength, holding him up. Ethan's voice cracked as he shouted, "You're not taking it!" The hunters growled in their metallic voices, pushing harder. Red light clashed against blue until the chamber shook, then the device flared. A surge of energy burst outward, hurling the hunters backward. They crashed into walls and crumbled stone, their armor sparking. For a moment, the tunnel was silent except for Ethan's ragged breathing. He looked at the device wide-eyed. It had protected him again. No, they had protected him. Soraya's essence and the key were one now, and through them, so was he. But the silence didn't last. One hunter rose, its armor cracked, sparks spitting from its chest. It pointed its weapon at Ethan, hissing words in a tongue he didn't understand. The others staggered to their feet as well, their red eyes glowing hotter with rage. Ethan's stomach dropped. He couldn't fight them forever. He needed a way out. The device pulsed again, projecting the star map into the air. One of the green stars pulsed brighter than the rest, and a new circle of light appeared in the tunnel wall behind Ethan. A portal. He gasped. It's showing me the way." The hunters roared and charged again. Ethan gritted his teeth, grabbed Soraya's still body, and held the device high. The shield flared bright blue, blocking a final blast as he stumbled backward into the circle. The world twisted. Ethan fell through a tunnel of light and landed hard on cold metal flooring. The portal snapped shut behind him with a crack of energy. The hunters were gone, at least for now. He groaned, pushing himself up. The room around him was vast, metallic, and humming with strange energy. Towering walls curved like the inside of a massive ship. Strange lights pulsed along the floor, and in front of him stood a massive window. Ethan's breath caught in his throat. Through the glass he saw stars, endless stars glowing in the black sea of space. Nebulas swirled in brilliant colors. Planets drifted like jewels, and far in the distance, enormous ships moved like silent predators. He was no longer on Earth. The device pulsed again, and a low vibration filled the room. Panels along the walls lit up, and the floor beneath him shifted. Slowly, the structure came alive. Ethan realized with a shock. He was standing on a starship. A voice echoed in his mind, soft but steady. Soraya's voice. The path begins, Keeper. The core awaits. Ethan's throat tightened. He looked down at Soraya's body, lying peacefully on the floor. He couldn't bring her back, but she was still with him inside the key, guiding him. The ship rumbled, rising to life. Controls blinked and shifted, symbols glowing in patterns Ethan didn't understand. Yet somehow he felt them. The key was connecting him to the ship, unlocking it for him alone. Ethan stepped forward, resting the device on a glowing pedestal in the center of the bridge. The star map expanded, covering the whole window with paths of light. At the center pulsed the golden star, the core. He whispered, "That's where I have to go." But the path was long, crossing unknown worlds and dangerous space. And the hunters? They would follow. The ship's engines roared. Stars stretched into lines as it prepared for hyperspace. Ethan's hands gripped the railing. His heart pounded with fear and awe. He had never even left his city before. Now he was leaving his planet. "Mom, Dad," he whispered softly. He thought of his sister, of home, of the life he was leaving behind. Would he ever see them again? The device pulsed in his hand, answering with quiet strength. The ship jolted forward. Light swallowed the stars as it leapt into hyperspace. Ethan's breath caught. His journey had begun, but just before the window filled with the glowing tunnels of light, he saw something, a shadow moving across the stars, an enormous warship, black as night, with dozens of red eyes burning across its hull. The Hunter's Masters, the Shadow Empire, and they had seen him. Ethan's blood ran cold. The chase was far from over. The ship rocketed into hyperspace, carrying him toward the unknown. His fists clenched around the device, and Soraya's whisper echoed once more in his mind. "Remember, Keeper, you are never alone." Ethan stared into the light, his fear mixing with determination. He was only a boy, but now he was Keeper, and the galaxy was waiting.